You. It is with the internet phone in. Friday night, of course, nothing gets past me. And a very, very warm welcome to you. Thanks very much for joining us tonight. So much to talk about and so little time to do it in. Get yourselves off to the telephones as quickly as possible. They should be working properly, I suspect. Yes, I've just had a look at that. That's brilliant. So that should be all in order for you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I say, how amazing is this? If you've just joined us on TikTok, a very warm welcome to you. Hey, Scotty, how are you? Drew Sky from, oh, here we go. Off to the telephones. You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who is that? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Scotty, it's Kareem. How you doing?
Kareem, excellent stuff. You gave us a wee delay there. You were just playing with us.
Oh, what? Really?
Yes, I can hear something in the background. I don't know if you've got something turned up or no turned down or whatever.
No, I've got my TV on mute.
That should be absolutely fine. Lovely to hear you. How are we tonight?
Not too bad, Scotty. Yeah, technology again. That's those gremlins.
Oh no, the technology is absolutely incredible. No, it was fine. There was just a slightly delay when I was speaking to you there. Absolutely incredible. And Kareem, I'm just going to say, there's Andy McCrory. Good evening, Scotty Dinky-Doo, top man Andy. Professor Numpty Heed says hello, Scotty. He's on sharp tonight, and it's scones. It's scones and Kareem. I don't know what that means. That's Michael. Good evening, good sir, says D, the wonderful D Gourley. So that's just you. And all the TikTokers are with you, Kareem.
Yes, hello, TikTokers.
Hello, TikTokers from Kareem Dinky-Doo. Now then.
Scotty. Yes, not bad today, Scotty. Just, I spoke to you yesterday about my heaters, so I've managed to get somebody to come out. And you know, it's amazing. It was one of these, like, you know, you've got the comparison website, so it's like you find a tradesman and they put a bid in, and if you're happy with it, feedback, then you take the job on and they'll come and do it.
Yes, I haven't tried that one. There was one I got caught with about 20 years ago, and it was a £50 call-out fee regardless. And this gentleman arrived, and it was a very simple problem. And he was a bit embarrassed having to take the 50 quid. You could see him just looking a wee bit sheepish, do you know what I mean? And he obviously was getting called by some control guy who was saying, right, you go out there and see what this is, and it's 50 quid anyway for the call out, do you know what I mean? And that system didn't last too well. You know, but there's all sorts of strange things. But I was very lucky. I discovered a superb plumber, the old school, absolutely proper, everything done properly, you know.
Excellent. Well, I'm not going to tell you, I've got like some emergency cover, so plumbing, like if anything went wrong with the plumbing, the radiators, the combi boiler, the pipes, anything, it's all part of this insurance where they come out and they fix it basically. So, but obviously there's other things you need to do around the house. You need a specialist, and that's where these other companies make the money. So it was quite interesting to see the variation with the prices of the quotes, because there was pictures put up and details what needed done. And I think the cheapest I got was 167 to fit 3 radiators, and the dearest was 450.
Whoa! A wee bit of difference there. I think the 167, if they do a right job for you, probably sounds okay, you know.
Well, I did pick that one because on the website they do encourage you not to just pick the cheapest, but read all the feedback and reviews. And I did. There was like over 400, and they were all positive. And he actually, people were commenting he's done the type of job that I'm looking for, to change the 3 radiators. I thought, right, excellent. So he's coming in a week's time, a week tomorrow, hopefully he'll turn up and do the job, so I'll be happy with that.
Fantastic, Kareem, brilliant stuff. Kareem, I'm going to ask you a question. The House of Lords were voting today about assisted dying. Now, I know our live stream here is cheerful subjects and fun subjects, but it caught my ear because I thought this is very, very interesting. And when we talk about God and all these different things, but then again, humans suffering terrific pain and discomfort very near the end of their life. What would your view be? Sorry to spring this on you, but what would your view be on assisted dying?
I think, well, we need to talk about all topics at times.
Yes.
I think it's an excellent question. I am for it because if you, God forbid, well, one day I know my 2 dogs are going to need to go to the vet.
Yes.
And probably need to be put down if they've got some type of illness, and I wouldn't want them to suffer. I'll give you a wee example.
And as you know, I've had to do that twice.
Yes, and it's horrible to do. You feel terrible, but you would feel worse if you seen your dog deteriorate daily. After, if you didn't get that done, you would feel so bad. And
well, I'm going to refer back to that just in a wee minute, but carry on, please.
Yes, so basically, I'll give an example. My gran had cancer in 2014 and passed away, and she had a device, and she was in the hospital, and she turned around and she said to my mum, Geraldine, I'm scared to go to sleep. My mum was like, why? Because she said, if I go to sleep, I'm never waking back up. And they put this device on her that made her basically sleep until she passed away. And I thought that I didn't agree with that, because I think you're still aware spiritually what's going on around you, etc., if you were in that state. But if it was another quicker method, like the way that you would put a dog down if someone requested that, then I'm for that. But my gran had to lie in bed asleep for 2 to 3 days before she passed away. Now, she had no food and she would have been dehydrated. Now, just because she couldn't verbally tell you anything because she was asleep, but you just don't know the discomfort that she could have been in that state. But my point being is, I am for it. If someone's really suffering and very hurt that needs to pass on, then make it a quick, painless way for them to move on peacefully. Good
for you, Kareem. Thank you for that. I can't believe you've come out with that, because that's exactly what I was going to say. My own grandmother, 2 years of terrible suffering. And, you know, they gave her as much morphine and all that stuff. And she was away down to absolutely nothing through cancer. And I thought, my dog's away in 15 seconds. The dog doesn't know what's happening 15 seconds after a wee jag, you know?
Yeah. You know, and it's just, my gran had it for about 2 years as well. And the strong person that you see, the character, the fight, and just for them to deteriorate to near to nothing at the end. And my gran, I always remember this, Scottie, that she was my gran was fantastic, but I blame the cancer, because my last moment or memory with her, she was very cheeky to me, and I was my gran's favourite. And my granda sat beside her shocked, because he couldn't even believe it. But to me, that would have been the drugs, and that would have been, you know, you could imagine the state, how scared.
And she just loved you, Kareem, and she was so glad you were there, and she felt she could say anything to you as well.
Yeah.
You know?
But that sadly was my last memory of her, but I have so many, and I'm lucky as well.
Wonderful memories.
My early 30s, I had my gran, and a lot of people don't have that, you know.
You had so many wonderful memories. And Kareem, when somebody passes away, this is what I always say, just remember how lucky you were to have them.
Well, you might find this is, I dare say the word funny. When I moved, at that point, I moved into my flat. I'm now across the road in my house that I just moved into, but my gran never got to see my flat, and I desperately wanted her to see it. And I visually, one night, I actually kind of seen a shadow at the door, and it was like my gran's shape, and I got such a fright, and I sat up and I shouted to my gran, and the shadow just disappeared very quickly.
Kareem, it may well have been her spirit.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I don't doubt any of these things. I don't believe sort of anything that seems too ridiculous, but I don't doubt, because if you doubt, you'll never, ever see. How often has a young person said to you things like, I can't do this?
Yeah.
And if they're saying
They
that,
end
they're
up doing
telling themselves they can't do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Kareem, you want to see the feedback here. Wait till you hear this. There's Thomas Hampton. Hello, pal. Dinky-Doo lasses. Beachy, Beachy. Hello there, sir. Here we go. Wait till you hear this. May I join your live? Says Kirsty. Yes. Dinky-Doo, Scotty. Evening, Scotty. Wait till we see. Stay with me, Kareem. Then death is inevitable. One should be allowed to decide if they want to pass. Regarding the circumstances, Scotty, says all the sevens. Betty Joe, what a great call, Kareem. Country music in Canada, loving you. Well said, Kareem, says Betty Joe. Very good points were said there. Well said, says country music. Culalio in Ireland, I never want to lie in a bed as a cabbage for years on end. Just pull my plug. Country music, there we are. I'm expanding your views in Canada. Dinky-Doo. Isn't that beautiful? Yes, up Scotland to the cricket. That's a great way to respect memories. No such word, says all the sevens. I used to find people laughing and joking at wakes weird, but as I've got older, I realise it's a celebration. Good night, Scotty. Nice to see you, says Jim Sierra. Hello, Mister. How are you? And there you are. So very positive feedback for your call, Kareem.
No, thank you very much. It was your good question, Scotty, that you put out to everybody.
You know, that's it coming from all around the world. So we're on our way. Kareem, you know that little video I put up about my grandpa on TikTok?
Say that again, Scotty, sorry.
Did you see the little video I put up about what my grandpa used to say on TikTok about the McTacks and the McGees? Yes. And you said you didn't get it at first. The takers and the givers. Well,
I know it was to do with the wedding one. I understand about the takers and the givers. I thought that was really clever, but I still, it was the wedding one. There was £25 or something like that.
All right, no. What happened is a friend got married. The registrar said it's £50. The registrar took a look at the bride. In other words, thought, "What's he marrying this shit for?" and gave him £25 back.
Right, okay. Right, okay. Oh, dear.
A bit of nonsense.
I love it. I like the grandpa one as well, Scotty. But yeah, no, that was good. Thank you for that question.
Well, the grandpa one has got 13,000 viewers already.
Wow, absolutely fantastic.
And it's only 15 seconds.
Yeah. But do you know what? That's what TikTokers like. They don't want something that's on for too long, and absolutely. You know, quick wee look, quick wee laugh.
Absolutely.
And it's great.
Excellent. Yeah. Lovely to talk to you, Kareem, and have a lovely evening. You know, you've got another call if you need it.
Thank you, Dinky-Doo.
Dinky-Doo.
I'll speak to you tomorrow. Night,
absolutely. Night, Kareem. Thank you very much. What a top man. Our Kareem, of course. Now, good one, Scotty. We love the banter, says Drewski. Absolutely. Yes, great chat. I mean, I know that was a serious topic, but I just wanted Kareem's opinion on it. If anybody else has got an opinion on the assisted dying thing, feel free to use it. But we are, by and large, a fun stream. You're live on Scotty's Phone In. Who is that?
Hello, Scotty. It's Martin. How's everybody?
Hello, Martin. Dinky-Doo, how are we tonight?
I'm very, very well. Dinky-Doo to yourself.
Yes. What's happening with you?
Do you remember the series in the TV called Take the High Road?
Yes, very well. I've just been watching it all again.
Oh, I love it.
You can get it on. The STV player. Yes, and it's fabulous. And I knew a lot of the cast. Some of them, sadly, no longer with us. But what an outstanding piece of work that was.
Like Mrs. Mac.
Mrs. Mac, I actually went for an interview with the producer and asked him if I could get a part. And he was absolutely charming. He saw me. He invited me for audition. And we had a lovely chat. I didn't get a part, but it was a lovely experience going to see him. Very nice man called Brian Mahoney.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Do you do you know the Yorkshire Dales? I would love to go there.
Absolutely inside out. I've worked in Yorkshire for years.
Have you? Nice.
There we are. So take the high road. Absolutely. It's well worth a look. And it just shows you what a professional job they did with Scottish television.
Uh-huh.
You see, I used to work for Scottish television, as you know, and I knew them all from the guys that run with the Mail to the managing directors and everybody. Lovely people.
Uh-huh. Do you actually remember all the TV series like Wild at Heart and Wycliffe and all that?
Of course I do, absolutely. Big television man. I used to introduce most of them.
What about the Bill?
The Bill, I love the Bill as well, yes.
Same.
And what about things like Juliet Bravo?
Yes, I still remember that.
Yes, what about The Gentle Touch with Jill Gascoigne?
Yes, London's Burning.
London's Burning, Morse.
Aye.
I love Morse.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So there we go. Martin, lovely to hear you, and we will have another catch up soon.
Yes, buddy.
And Dinky-Doo, my boy, you take care.
Okay, love you, bye.
Love you lots. There we go. That's our Martin. To the telephones, guys, as quickly as possible. Lots to talk about, and so little time to do it in. Right, what have we got here feedback-wise on the TikTok? Come on, take the high road. Kareem's the man. There we go. What have we got? Good one, Scotty. We love this. Juliet. I'll do that. Dixon of Dock Green. Wow. Angela, I don't know what age you are. I do remember Dixon of Dock Green. Can you remember any of the other characters, in Dixon of Dock Green? What was the program where there was a man with a gas mask box used to say, I heard that. Pardon? Gas mask box? I don't know what that is. There we are. Hi from Jonquière in Quebec, in Canada. Robert, je regrette, mais je ne parle pas français très vite. Si tu parles lentement, peut-être je comprends. Dinky-Doo the new. How good are the champions? Anything that Lou Grade brought us was outstanding. There is a saying in the media, if Lou Grade had been alive today, Scottie McClue would never be off our television screens. Isn't that beautiful? There we are. Heartbeat. We love Heartbeat. Merci, mon ami. Oui, ce n'est pas any trouble at all. PC Fancy. Well done, Angela. That's not Dixon of Dock Green. That's Z Cars. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yes, and do you remember Joe Brady in Z Cars? He used to go on shift with PC Fancy. And PC Fancy, was that not Brian Blessed? I think so. Z-Cars. Fantastic. Of course. I didn't know you cared, it was called. I've just checked. Calerio. Excellent stuff. You would make a good green grass. Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Somebody said I would make a good gamekeeper. Yes, with Snedden. The Bears are having a party. Is that just the three Bears? Super Gran, yes. I've worked with Super Gran on a morning interview program called, I think it was This Morning for ITV. Gudrun Ur, wonderful stuff. Scotty, you're Brian Blessed's dad. You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that? Hello, you're live on Scotty's phone in.
Scotty, it's Kareem. Sorry, very quick second call.
Not at all. No, Kareem's the man, apparently.
No, I actually forgot to ask the question that I was going to ask you tonight.
Right.
I'm a bit over emotional with my gran and that.
Sorry about that, Kareem. I hope you didn't mind me bringing that up.
No, not at all. I think if people can listen to it and it gives them comfort and just a little bit of faith, then...
And a bit of understanding, Kareem. What I'm loving about this phone, and one of the many, many things, is that people are just themselves. There's no, there's no putting on airs and graces. And that's just happened because when we started the phone in and you started it with me, we didn't know what kind of people, we didn't know what to expect.
Yes. But Scotty, I was thinking of that as well about I have to say, well done to you, because you faced a lot of challenges. You know, I don't know the politics behind what happens in radio shows, etc. But you've been about and you're very popular and people love you on the radios. But from your stories, always some silly producer somewhere shafts you, and then you move on to bigger and better things.
It's a very, very basic human feeling, and it's called jealousy. And in my experience, jealousy trumps everything for surreptitious badness and twisted views and all that. Now, I am not, to my knowledge, in possession of jealousy, because I feel the media, there's room for everyone. And some of the half-wits that have come on here in the last 6 weeks going, oh, you think you're this, you think you say, start your own internet stream then. Just go and do it, you know, and see how you go. And when something's very successful, you'll get somebody who's not been successful. Most radio producers want to be on air.
Yes.
Even people that say they'll come into the radio station just to make the tea, they want to be on air. I know a guy who started as a tea boy and ended up as the managing director. But he had very little proper on-air experience of holding a big audience. That's the thing. And they don't know. And once a programmer took me aside, the managing director said, oh, hello, Scottie. How's everything going? Are the digs all right? And I said, yes, absolutely, sir. Thank you. I said, how's the show going? Is it all right for you? And his eyes glazed over. And the programmer took me aside by the lapel. And he said, don't ask him about radio. He doesn't know anything about it.
Right, okay.
So I was getting the message, you know what I mean? Now, maybe he'd come up through the sales side or something like that, because radio, commercial radio, is about presentation and sales. And also, there's only about, at the very most, 6 of us, probably in the world, who are successful phone-in presenters.
Yes.
So there's 6 of us in the world, and apparently, according to everyone else, I'm one of them. So sometimes you'll get a producer takes over and somebody says, ho ho, you've got your work cut out with Scottie McClue. And they think, I think I'll sack this Scottie McClue, because I don't really fancy taking him on. Now, the truth is that I'm no bother to work with. The head of ITV once said, I don't know anybody that doesn't like you, Scottie. You see? So, but you'll get the odd person like that, and they come in and they just say, that's you, finished.
Yeah.
You know?
It's horrible. Yeah.
Or because you're so successful, you might be earning more money than them. And you can never earn more money than the boss.
Well, yeah, but at the point, or to add on to what I was saying earlier on, it was that you've continued. You think, okay, here's a challenge. I'm going to look at it at a different angle. And you started the phone in. You had the when it was during lockdown, keep in contact with everybody.
We were up on the YouTube and the Facebooks in the morning and evenings. I think, Kareem, because I know in my heart, and the people know as well, the product, i.e. us, the phone-in, what we're doing right now, is not in any way, shape, or form flawed. And we know that. That's a fact. So if somebody doesn't want to on the radio station, the problem is not with Scottie McClue, it's with them.
Yeah.
You know, and whatever their problem is, I do not have time to sort out their problems. If somebody's got a problem with you, Kareem, that's their problem, not yours. Do you see?
That's a good way of looking at it.
Because the product, i.e. Kareem, we know is not in any way, shape, or form flawed. And the reason we know that is because A, we hear you every night, and B, you've been very successful in your field.
Thank you.
So we know that. So that's the fact. So I have to myself take the constant, because my real early backers that could not get enough Scottie McClue, they've all passed away.
Correct. Yes.
They're not. They're,
contacts and friends.
Somebody will say to me now, Scottie, could you give me a name of a referee? And I'll say, and I had very, very senior referees in this country, but they're dead.
Yeah.
They're dead. And I think I'll find somebody, I'll get my last boss. You see, and it's that sort of thing. So it's quite interesting from that point of view. And as I say, there's a quote in the industry: if Lou Grade had been alive today, Scottie McClue would never be off our television screens, because Lou Grade was show business.
Yeah.
And he was the boss, and he was the head of a very powerful ITV franchise, and a very successful ITV franchise that had the franchise for the whole of London and the Midlands originally, ATV. And he brought us programs like The Baron, The Champions, what else? The Saint. If you watch Simon Templar, Roger Moore as Simon Templar, and he brought us everything animated like Thunderbirds, Fireball XL5, Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons, Stingray, all these things that we watched as youngsters, glued to our television screens. You see, and that was Lou Grade. Somebody coming in to see him, I think, I don't know if I've told you the story, Kareem. Stop me if I have. Somebody came in to see Lou. I mean, there's so many wonderful stories about Lou Grade, you know? And somebody came in to see him one day and said, no, they'd been round all the other ITV stations saying, I do puppets. And they went, no, that's not for us. And Lou lights his big cigar and goes, I take as much of this as you can give me. And that was Thunderbirds and Stingray. It was Jerry Anderson. Then another guy went in to see him and said, I've got a puppet show, soft puppets. He'd been round the other stations and they'd knocked him back. Lou goes, I take as much of this as you can give me. It was the Muppets. Jim Henson. And everybody loved the Muppets. And then Roger Moore went in to see Lou because Lou had asked him to come and work with him and Tony Curtis on The Persuaders. And he said, it's not my thing really, Lou. I've had a look at the script. So Lou goes over to his desk drawer, lifts out a check that he's pre-written, takes it over and goes, Roger, that's just for starters. Roger Moore looked at the check and said, Lou, when do I start?
Excellent.
He was just a lovely, funny man.
Yeah.
You know, and he and his brother went to a dinner one time. See, he started at 5 in the morning, and he and his brother went to a lunch, and suddenly his brother said to him, oh, God. And he said, what's wrong? He says, I forgot to lock our office safe. And Lou said, well, we're both here, aren't we? Isn't that beautiful? As if to say the only one of us that's going to get to the safe is either you or me. Just beautiful. You know, they were just great fun characters.
Yeah. But it sounds to me the newer ones, it might be a bit of ageism that would come into it, and just, as you said, jealousy, and just, I find a lot of people that get promoted or into higher positions nowadays, and I can see it from teaching, but I'm sure it's in other fields as well. They don't have a clue, or they're not very good at their job, but they've got the gift of the gob.
Well, the gift of the gab, and as you know, there is a syndrome, I think it's the Peter syndrome, and you promote people beyond their level of competence. So say, for instance, in a big institution, you have somebody that's failing at a certain job, move them up a step. You know, having said that, the ITV companies, I knew the managing directors, and they were absolute gents. The whole lot of them. The guy we had in Scotland was just lovely. Sir William Brown. He was just great. And when you went to talk to him, he was the fairest man. He sat back and he eyeballed you and he listened, and then he gave you a decision.
Right. Thorough and fair.
Yeah,
basically.
just
That's a
wonderful.
fair chap.
Just wonderful, because of the terrific experience.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Well, listen, Scotty, what I'll do is the question I was going to ask, but I've spent too long and nobody other callers that wanted to come on. It was about, I'll raise it tomorrow with a couple of other questions, but it's just a thought that I went in to get petrol earlier on, and the petrol was through the roof. I think it was 142 for it, and I raised this with my mum. I said, this is partly Brexit. She said, it's nothing to do with Brexit. They voted for Brexit, and they're quite pro-conservative, etc.
It's all to do with Brexit, Kareem. The Brexiteers, bless them, even close family, they're desperate to defend what they've done. But they didn't know the setup, even the smart ones. They didn't know what was going on. And everybody's been worked from the back to get us out of Europe so that the rich didn't have to pay tax.
That's it. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't tend to argue with this stuff with my parents anymore because they don't listen. So
no, they don't listen. And if they're elderly, you think, oh, well, just leave them with their ideas, you know?
Yeah, I tend to do that. But Brian, I'll think of that tomorrow just for more examples and another question. But I'll say Dinky-Doo, and thanks for taking my second call, Scott.
Dinky-Doo to you. Love you to bits. Thanks a lot, top man. There's our Kareem, as I say, and he's got his second call in tonight. Amazing. Fantastic, guys. To the telephones as quickly as possible. Of Vito saying Pet was the best in TV. There we go. Who have you ever been starstruck with? Honestly, stacks of people. There we go. Duncan McCrae, Roddy McMillan, all these wonderful people. Who's ringing? Scottie McClue. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that? Thank you very much. You're so lovely.
Love the show, Scottie. Love the show, Scottie.
Dinky-Doo.
Have a nice day, Scottie.
Thank you so much. Bless you.
Bye-bye.
What about that? There we are. Love the show. A shout out for D. Gurley. We like that. There you go, D. You can't beat that. Now, stacks of them. Yes, starstruck. Can you remember Cider Ronnie? I do remember Cider Ronnie. Big shout out to Cider Ronnie. We love it. Where's Numpty Heat? Has he been on the sauce? You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that? There we are. Don't know who that was. Right, that's that one. Oh, go. Yes, absolutely. Isn't that beautiful? Fantastic. Now then, to the telephones as quickly as possible. Lots to talk about and so little time to do it in, I say. I can't believe we're already 33 minutes into the show. Now, AFC Stevie, that's a line you would troll people's lives with. So you are a troll. You've never seen me in the supermarket. You've never seen me crying or any of that rubbish. So you're a time waster and you're wasting your own opportunity. So I'm going to give you a lifetime ban and you go and grow up. So there's AFC Stevie getting a lifetime ban. Grow up, sonny. Come back when your spheres have descended. Congratulations to my friend Daniel. He's learnt some words. We love it. Who's on here? You're live at Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Oh my God, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Sorry? He's got the wrong number. How could you get the wrong number for Scottie McClue's phone in? We love it. Fantastic stuff. Alex Hughes has just joined us on the TikTok. Welcome, TikTokers. Come and join us in the phone in. Go on to the YouTube channel. You'll see the URL just below my TikTok bio. And come and subscribe and tap the bell. There we are. The politest wrong number. And ukulele. Oh, wrong number. I'm sorry. Fantastic stuff. We love it. That's what it's about. Here we go. Hello, you're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Hello, Scottie McClue. It's Martin again. How you doing, sir?
Martin, Dinky-Doo, are you all right?
Aye, you?
Yes, very much. So what can I do for you, la?
What's your best film you have ever seen?
The best film I've ever seen, probably Sound of Music.
Oh, I love the Sound of Music.
Probably Sound of Music, if I'm honest. But another one, I don't know if you'll have seen it, called Tunes of Glory, about a Scottish regiment after the First World War. Tunes of Glory.
Do you like country and western?
I do. Country and western.
Yes.
Do you mean music-wise?
Yes.
Yes, of course I do. Absolutely, yes. Johnny Cash.
Oh, yes.
Love Johnny Cash.
Oh, I love Johnny Cash. What's your favourite music star?
My music star. My favourite music star. Love Dolly Parton.
Same.
Think she's amazing. And obviously the greats, the Beatles, the Stones, you know, Kenneth McKellar, greatest all-round singer, and Jimmy Shand, the greatest musician of all time.
Kenny Rogers?
Kenny Rogers, I love Kenny Rogers, yes. Yes.
Oh.
Yes, Lucille.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely love Kenny Rogers. Fantastic. Do you think if you played a country and western song backwards, she would come back and bring back the kids in the car?
Yes.
What
about, do you like Titanic?
Oh, I loved the Titanic film. I mean, obviously a very serious subject, but it was amazingly done.
I know, amazing. But I would love to go and see the boat someday as well in life.
See what?
I would love to see the boat someday, the boats as well sometime.
The actual Titanic. Yes. Well, I don't think you'll see that. It's at the bottom of the ocean.
Is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Betty Jo says, I think Martin's blutered.
What do you mean? Who?
You.
What do you mean a blutered? What does that mean?
I don't know. I think she thinks you've had a refreshment.
Oh, yes. Nice.
Very nice. Lovely to hear you, Dinky-Doo.
I've just had a few coffees. Nothing major. Just a coffee.
A few Irish coffees. No problem at all. Dinky-Doo.
Dinky-Doo, so love you. Bye.
Love you lots. Big up, D. Gurley, says Sky. Is 7 sheets to the wind. There we are. To the telephones, guys, as soon as you possibly can. What's happening here? Fantastic. Friday night, nothing gets past me, of course. And I hope you're having a great time. Let's see what the chat's saying. Scottie, a cup of tea with a scone and jam with Kareem. Yes, indeed. Love your channel. Just discovered you after Alex Belfield was talking about you. How very interesting, Jack. Yes, Alex Belfield. Very, very, very big YouTube star. Yes, millions and millions and millions know him. Heidi, hi, Professor Numpty. Cheers, Numpty. There we are. Right. Good evening, Scottie, says Mark. Great as always to see you. Maybe considered a little out there, but have you looked into anything about the US government's June report on what was formerly referred to as UFOs? Curious and provocative stuff. Be interested to hear your views and your opinion. Here we go. Oops, don't know who that was. We missed that one there. Yes, not in it. Hi, Aaron, Dinky-Doo. Hello, everybody. What have we got here? Trifle or chocolate mousse, Lord McClue, says James Gibb. There, Dinky-Doo, D. Gurley. Who remembers Dr. Finlay's casebook? We're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that? Hello? Do you speak? You don't speak. Okay, no problem at all. There we are. Absolutely what we call non-verbal. Who remembers Garnet Way, says Professor Numpty. Do you remember Garnet Way, Numpty? That was amazing. What have I missed, says Suzanne? Everything, Suzanne. Never miss a second of Scottie McClue. Soul says, I missed your voice, the voice of reason, when I was in my teens, still now in my 40s. There we are. Screw self-censorship and jealousy. Absolutely. What have we got here? Soul Flask, I haven't passed away yet. I hope not. I'm out of puff trying to get home, says Suzanne. Hello, Scottie. I've got to say, you have to visit Castle Milk. The community spirit is great. Loads of community members rallied up. All right. Amazing nationwide coin hunt. How interesting. Who remembers John Toy, the anchor man on STV? You're live in Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Hello, Scottie. David, how are you?
David,
okay?
DINKY-DOO, you're sounding a wee bit gruff tonight, my dear.
All right, okay. My voice it's just changing a bit, a wee bit husky, you know.
Oh, is it? Are you maturing? Do you think? Have you changed?
Well, maybe I was laughing a lot earlier on with my friends. You know what I mean? You know.
I wondered if maybe you were, your voice was breaking.
Right, well, maybe it is. I mean, I've got COPD and asthma.
Oh, Cyril, no, I don't think it's
know.
that. It just sounded a wee bit rough in your throat. I don't think it's to do with your lungs. See, you've got to remember, McClue's an expert on all that.
Well, that's true. So
I could tell you all about your alveoli.
What is that? What alveoli? Explain that word.
Your alveoli, well, I'll tell you, you see, what you've got, your lungs themselves are quite elasticated and quite pink, but they can't actually hold the air in, you know, because what happens is your ribs swing out because they've got belts of muscle through your ribs called intercostals.
Right,
so,
that's really cool. Carry on.
Right, well, I'll just tell you this wee bit, but tell me if you get fed up. So these are your intercostals, and they fly your ribs up. It's called rib swing, and they fly up your ribs like an old-fashioned bellows, David, that they used to do the fire with.
Right, wow,
yes.
Right,
yes, so you imagine that. So you suck the air in. Now, in your lungs, if you can imagine a tree with no leaves, turn it upside down, and the trunk becomes your trachea, your windpipe.
The trachea, my trachea is quite, I was told it's quite bad.
Your trachea, and then your windpipe, that's your windpipe, and then it goes out into your two lungs. Now, it keeps on going. All the branches are little air sacs called alveoli.
Right, I get Scott, I'm going to got a breathing machine. I've got a breathing machine.
You've got a nebulizer.
Yes, that's the one, yes.
A nebulizer, yes, because your COPD, your alveoli have lost a little bit of their elasticity.
Oh, yes, Scottie. I get bad days and good days.
Absolutely.
I'm okay.
Of course you are. You're wonderful.
Yes.
You're not just okay, you're fantastic.
Do you know what I would say about you? When you explained all that just a minute ago, I love this. You could be a doctor as well, you know, okay.
Isn't it that lovely? But I it's just to let you know what's going on. Sometimes the doctors don't tell you all that, you know.
No, they won't, exactly, Scott.
And you see, David, you've got two ways of breathing. Now, don't worry too much, because what they can probably do is show you another way of breathing. So if you've got shallow breathing, is called clavicular, because you're breathing like this, David. I don't know if you can see me, but you're breathing shallow because you're breathing by your clavicle. You know, somebody fractures their clavicle, their shoulder bone. So they're breathing up the top of the lungs. Now that means you don't have a lot of capacity. But if
John Scott could have been a doctor, John.
if your other way of breathing, David, and this is where they might do some work with you, is intercostal diaphragmatic.
Right.
There's a good one for you. And that means...
You're an amazing man.
Well, that means you're breathing via your ribs, and you're getting more air in because your diaphragm is pushing down your abdominal wall and giving you more capacity. You see?
I've given up my nebulizer the last 3 weeks. Maybe that's a problem.
Aye, but keep on just when you feel you need it. Have you got oxygen as well, David?
I've got all the tablets and the nebulizer. I've got nebulizer solutions.
The nebulizer stuff,
you know? Yes.
Good. Well, listen, every strength to you, my boy, because you're brilliant.
Of course. I'm going to talk about this.
No, and it just happened. David, see, wait till I tell you this. A guy, and he's doing very well now, but he does a lot of pinching my phrases and stuff, right?
Oh, yes.
So he does a bit of that. But I says, nobody will ever be able to replicate Scottie McClue. And he says, why not? I says, because they don't know what's coming next. I said, and neither do I.
Exactly. You know what I mean? I mean, I can go. I don't want to talk to him because I've got to walk up the airlines. You know what I mean? But I mean,
no, David, you carry on, my boy. You've deserved this. You know what I mean? You've earned your space.
Oh, of course. I mean, I'm really annoyed because I was out shopping today and still people are paranoid about the COVID. I can see them in the shop and the big supermarket, and they're all looking at each other, Scottie, and I wanted to go home because I was getting really stressed.
You were getting a wee bit annoyed because they were making you paranoid by staring at you.
Yeah, and this woman didn't put her foot on what you call the belt for her foot, you know, in the supermarket, and she's standing right off. And I said to John, can you see what's going on here? And it's really out of hand. But again, the government wants a lockdown soon, Scottie.
Yes.
They're going into it soon. It's coming up.
Do you think so? Do you think there might be another lockdown?
Yes, Scottie.
Oh.
They're saying in England, okay, apparently there's also maybe 60,000 people had COVID in England and lots of people died of it. Again, Nicola Sturgeon walked down Scotland, you know. You know. And even John had to leave the supermarket. John said to me, David, I need to go to the car. It was really scary.
It was too much. This is it. I just pop in for my milk and then get away, you know. What I was going to say to you, this is why the first question in a Glasgow pub quiz is always, who are you looking at?
Seriously, I mean, it's real, and I can see it for what it's for, Scottie. I mean, but anyway, Scottie.
I remember a boy, he panicked, he was acting the hard man, and he looks at me, he goes like this, Davey, he goes, who are you looking at? And I went, you.
I know.
See his face. It's like, could you imagine if somebody says, well, you're looking at my missus? You went, don't be ridiculous. Who'd look at her?
Seriously, I know. Honestly, God. So, Scottie, what was the topic tonight anyway?
Well, David, I don't want to cheer everybody up too much, but our topic tonight, we were actually talking about assisted dying.
Well, that's good because I was talking to my friend last night about that. Please bring it into our country.
Yes.
Stop this, carry on.
Yes, we're talking about the Lords were debating it today. And Kareem was on earlier and I was telling him, and he's had a similar experience to me. My grandmother died of cancer and the pain that we saw was in. And she was the loveliest woman in God's earth. And she went down to absolutely nothing. And 2.5 years of suffering. And I think my dog was away in 15 seconds.
Yeah, but my mother died 25 years ago with breast cancer. And you know what? Bring it in. Let people rest in their graves. You know?
Absolutely, David. Yes, I mean, you need to watch because the danger's obviously somebody not being in the right mind, not being of sound mind. The danger's some dodgy relatives that think, let's get rid of the Algin, all that kind of stuff. You need to watch all that, but it needs 2 doctors and a High Court judge.
Well, Scottie, again, I'll get COPD. See, in 20 years' time, I may not be here in this land. And if I'm going to see me a 70 or 60, you'll pass the COPD because your heart stops.
No. Listen, you're going on a long time. You've got things to look at. Look at intercostal diaphragmatic breathing and all that.
Yeah, I mean, but I said to John one time, I said, John, if I was really in pain, would you actually give me tablets? You see it?
Oh, well, it's very difficult, and it's also very difficult to put somebody in that position because they would be breaking the law.
I know.
Do you see, and also, I don't ever want anybody to feel that they have to take themselves away. You know, they can come on and talk to Scottie McClue. My goodness, David, the nights we had people who were thinking of taking themselves away. And I can remember being interviewed in the radio, and there was a guy attacking me. He said, "You've got no support network. You're not a professional clinician, and you give out all this." So I said, "Listen, if I've even saved one life, it's been worth it."
Well, you do get clinical inspiration on your brain. You just told me about the COPD.
COPD, yes, pulmonary disease, yes. Yes, pulmonary being your lung.
You know, okay, you know, before I go, look at Sweden. They've got it amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's all that. David, I'm going to have to let you go, my dear man. Take great care of yourself.
I love you.
I love you to bits. And Dinky-Doo.
You too, Scottie.
Dinky-Doo. Top man. Bye-bye, bud. There we are. That's our David. My goodness me. What an interesting night. So there we go. The numbers are getting higher on YouTube, says D. Oh, love it, D. Thank goodness. Guys, if you're on YouTube, subscribe and tap the bell, because this is going to go absolutely ballistic. You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
DINKY-DOO. It's Archie from the Scottish Borders.
Archie from the Borders. We haven't heard from you for weeks. How lovely to have you with us.
I've just been so busy.
Oh, good.
I have been listening, but I've just not been calling in.
Archie, 2 seconds on the TikTok. It's good to talk, Scotty. Scotty, how are you? Dinky-Doo. Wait a wee minute. Dinky-Doo from Pitlochry, says Art Monty. We love Pitlochry. Now then, go on, Archie.
I'm actually a YouTube watcher a good amount of the time anyway.
You're in what?
I watch through YouTube.
YouTube. Have you subscribed?
Oh, I've got the bell on, mate.
Oh, you've got the bell on. Fantastic. Dinky-Doo.
On my free time when you're not live, I enjoy watching your old content.
Yes, absolutely. You'll get a smile with that.
Oh, there's loads. My favourite one was the guy from the law place, and you wouldn't leave more about the place.
Oh, Free Law Village. There's only one house there.
I couldn't stop laughing.
All the 7 says, I love the build-up. It's going to go ballistic. It is going to go ballistic. Once people start discovering this phone-in, it will go ballistic. Trust me.
I remember saying that when I first started calling, and we were about maybe 10 to 12 views on YouTube, and now you're up to about 30 views a night on YouTube.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, I just see it growing and growing. I mean, I'll give you an example, Archie. I don't know if you heard me say yesterday. I did a 15-second TikTok video yesterday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And when I was going on air tonight, 13,000 had seen it.
Things like that, they go viral, and it brings attention to Scottie McClue in a good way.
You know, I mean, Justin, I didn't know. I looked at it a few minutes later. I thought, oh, there's 2 people already. That's brilliant. And then when I got home, it was 3,000.
Oh, it's excellent. And like I say, it brings you. I have no doubt some of the viewers on YouTube at the minute.
All the 7s is saying you'll be doing this in 10 years, you think, Scotty? Probably.
I think you will be.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You know, actually, the first time I ever saw you, it was on TikTok, and you're talking about people. It involved people wearing a certain colour of dress on their second time round.
Oh yes, the bridal dress. Should they be wearing? Should they be allowed to wear white second time round? I think we might raise that as a topic tomorrow.
Oh, I'll have to be in. I've been doing a bit of truck driving lately. I've been going down to Boston and Lincolnshire.
I know Boston very, very well. Yes, I love it. I love Lincolnshire.
Right. I like Lincolnshire. It's so flat. There's not a hill in sight in the whole.
No hill in sight. I'll tell you what I passed on the road in Lincolnshire. Lovely little roads, little straight roads, and a smell of onions. And I passed Cranwell, RAF Cranwell, where all the pilots train, where Douglas Bader trained.
Oh, nice.
Lincolnshire, because great for flying, you see.
Yes, it's like I say, it's so flat.
Yeah.
Taking down 40 tons of broccoli down to Lincolnshire.
Fantastic.
A couple times a month.
I'm so glad you're doing that, Alec, to be honest with you, because we need the truck drivers and it's good work.
It is. It's not a good situation.
No, and you sound fairly young, so you're the right age for it.
Oh, well, I'm actually just going down to help at the other end because there's a shortage at the other end as well.
Right.
So I just go down to help unload it and get it off. I don't have an HGV. I hope to at some point soon, but...
Good man. Well, listen, very proud of you. That's the game.
Oh, thank you very much. It's not a good situation. I hope that it'll be solved, the HGV shortage. That's a great another conversation about, because it's just...
We'll talk about all these things. We don't like to talk about anything too serious. We don't like to talk about subjects that are really mainstream media because, you know, we get enough of that.
But I don't think the mainstream media has seen enough of how this was the UK's fault.
No.
And it was, and that was it wouldn't, if it wasn't for the idiotic actions, it wouldn't be happening, but anyway, that's my path not to go down.
That's another one to go down. Archie, an absolute joy talking to you, and we will catch up again soon.
We will. It was good to hear from you, and it's been good trip tonight.
Top man, bless you. Love to the borders and to you, Dinky-Doo.
Thank you, Dinky-Doo.
Dinky-Doo, Lara. There we are. That's your Archie. Frae the borders. Fantastic. Frae the Jedburgh, if I remember right. Now, we're going to have to say goodnight to the beautiful, beautiful TikTokers in a minute. Scottie, you're the voice that can almost relax people and awaken them from their slumber. There's such an agenda to put us all against one another. It's no fun at all. No soul, but we will have fun on here. There we are. An extra wee haw for the night. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that? Hello? Do you speak? You don't speak. You're non-verbal. No problem at all. We're very nice to have you on. There were Dinky-Doo Scotties as Ronnie Shaw. Absolutely, Ronnie. Good night and God bless beautiful TikTokers. Dinky-Doo from Scottie McClue. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Hi, Scottie. It's Numpty.
Numpty, about time we heard from you. Where have you been? Have you just joined us?
No, I've been here since the start.
I hope so.
Scottie, I thought I'd say a quick point. I was going to come on earlier, but couldn't get through. Now, the Queen's Guards, they're a waste of time.
Now, Numpty, that is a lovely thing to hear that you couldn't get through.
What do you mean?
That means the phone-in's working. That means your idea was correct. Now, while you're getting on the Queen's Guard is the most important thing in the world. Guarding the Queen is the most valuable thing we could ever do.
They're a waste of money, Scottie.
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. No. These are serving soldiers.
Aye, but
they're serving their country. You're a waste of time. That's what it is.
All right, then.
I've never heard someone. These are serving soldiers, serving their country. They're up at the castle.
Well,
if you go up now, the guard will stop you.
I know that they do nothing but scream in your face if you get in their way.
Well, there you go. Well, you need to not do that then. Why would you get in the way of the Queen's Guard?
Well,
make way for the Queen's Guard.
Get away for the Queen's Guard.
No, not get away for the Queen's Guard. Make way for the Queen's Guard.
You see nonsense, wasting money.
Right, listen, never heard so much rubbish in all my life. Away you go. There we are. See him when he's sober. Nightmare. He's okay when he's had a refreshment. D Girl is laughing here. Dinky-Doo. Hi, everybody. Wow, we're busy on the chat tonight. Good evening, Scottie, down at Kirkconnell, says Stephen. Hope all's well with you. Stephen, we love you. Have you ever heard of the tea and biscuit, Stephen? It's on your beat. See you after. We've got to go.